Sup. So today we are going to get rid of these hideous fluorescent lights. And throw some recessed lighting in it, and I also have some pennants I'm going to put up over this island. I will show you forward, and we'll get to where we change out these recessed lighting, or put in recessed lighting, and we'll be doing remodel recessed lighting because I have no attic access thanks to my upstairs lift. So another question that some people may have is placement of these. They say that, so I like to put them, trying to get them to where they're centered over the edges here. And I really like to put them spliced in the middle here of these. Now I kind of hit a predicament because I'd also like for them to be lined up, kind of, be a little bit prettier. But so this one, I wanted it centered in between these two. Problem was I couldn't get exactly centered because that joist's in the way, so I had to move it over just a little bit. It should still look fine. I go out. I want to center it over the countertop. That way, whenever you're leaning over doing stuff, it's not, the light that comes down isn't completely blocked by your head, so that you don't look like an idiot. So the next, I'm not going to center it with this. I'm actually going to center it with this countertop here to keep these two in line with each other. And then this joist also kind of caused me a problem because I can't go on the edge of this countertop. So basically I want to have one right above this corner. That's how I'm doing it. To each their own. Some people don't care about how fluid it looks and stuff. So so here's what I got. It's 26 inches from the back to here. So I took my tape measure from the wall, 26 inches. That's my 26 inches. Now I'm going to take my tape measure and mark it probably just a little bit over 2.5 since I have 5-inch diameters. And I'm going to mark it, right over here. And that will be where I make sure I have clearance at. And then we'll put this wire hanger in there, make sure we have clearance. And if we do, then we'll be in a good location. I'm also putting one over here, so ideally I wanted to put it above this countertop, and I want to center it right here. I can center it right there perfect, but this joist is blocking me from getting it over the countertop. So I can either move it back, which I didn't really want to do, move it back this way, because then if I sit over, my head's going to be in the way of the light. So I'm going to put it on the other side of this after I get my drywall up. Okay, so after much debate, I have decided that what I'm going to do is drill and go ahead and fish all these lines, patch this all back up, and then just do the remodel lighting instead of some of the new in-house. So I'm also putting up pennant lights over my island here. So I got some new cable boxes to put in there to hold it. I'm making a junction box for that up there, so I'll probably put it just up on this little beam right here. So I'll do that, kind of show through that. And then you need your 12-2 gauge wire here. And that's what I'm going to use to fish everything through. So the first thing I'm going to do is get out and drill. So I know that I'm going to have to drill through. My wire comes, I'm going to have to drill through this beam and that beam to get to wire that one. I'm going to have to drill through this one down here maybe, but I'll probably just use this same one to go about this. To get over there, I'll probably actually just drill through this, and then take it off over there. I'm also going to have to drill through this beam and that beam to get to my my other one, where my pennant lights will be. So I'm going to go ahead and drill through these things. Okay, so drilling into the joists to get to where you want to trace your wires. Fairly simple. Lock and load and go. So you get all the way through. We made it. So that's just some of them. That'll get me from here through that to where I want to put my light. I'm gonna have to do it over here, Alright, all holes are drilled. So now, I'm connecting a junction box, and this is going to be, I'm going to put up there next to my house wire, and I'm going to connect most things to this. A lot of the connections to this, and I'm going to do that, because you can have them come in all different areas on this thing. They have little knockouts, and all you do is hit it, and I'll knock these things out. So I'm going to open up all these, and all you do is just take this, and I will end up screwing it probably about right here on this, and I'll be able to fish, you know, this wire in through there. You'll be able to fish it in through all these areas that you knock out, and this is what's going to house everything, aside for the one that's going to go all the way to that corner. So I'm going to screw this up there, knock these out, and fish the wires through. Okay. Junction box is up, so you see it's in there. You see how you can slide wires in here. Also have to buy a cover for it to put over it. And so, started wiring, or started tracing. Traced that through the hole. Made sure that I had enough. That way, whenever I drill this hole for the light, I can find that wire. On that last hole, I bent it. That way it went that way instead of going where the hell it wants to. Make it easier on yourself. And I started doing this one too, so you trace it. I know where I want it at. So you make sure, and I recommend make sure you give yourself a few more inches of leeway. So, I know that that's ample enough. I can always cut off more if I need to. That's ample enough to get in there. And I know that this one is going to be about right here. So I'm going to make sure that I get enough. Probably cut it off about right here. Son of a bitch. So. Snap. So now I'll take this and I'm just going to feed this line all the way down here to where my next light is. Make sure I have enough. Cut it off. You're going to do that all throughout. So I need another wire going for this light. So I'll trace one from here to there. And then my last set for my pennant lights going through here all the way down to that end. Again, make sure you leave yourself enough. Okay, so I cut out my first one. I'll go through that real quick. First things first, you can tell I did some markings so I know where the joists are. I marked all these beams up here because when I put the drywall on, I'll know where they're all running. And I've done my markings. I'll extend this mark out, that way I know exactly where this joist is. If you have it open like this, and you can get a good idea, so I know from the inside of this one to the inside of the next one is 14.5 inches. And then from the inside to the outside, that one's 16. So I mark that and I trace it all the way down so I know where the joist is right there. To give me a good idea. I did the same over here where I'll lay my pennant lights out. And that way I know to avoid the joists. Now, a trick is, you can get like an old wire hanger, and so I'm hanging up 5-inch lights, so 5-inch. All I got to do is bend this one about 2.5 inches. I go a little bit further just to be safe, so it's like 2 5/8 or so. And you bend it, and you go all the way around. So whenever you go all, and you put it in the ceiling, when you go all the way around, that's going to do a 5-inch diameter. So, and if you get caught on something, so you can put this in here. Just push it right through the drywall. You got to put a little muscle into it, and then you twist it. And if you don't hit anything, then you know you have enough clearance. But if you start hitting stuff, then you know that you don't have enough. So we should be good right there because I can move it all the way around. I'll do the same thing over on that side to make sure I get on the right joist, and then we'll cut, and I'll show you how to cut real quick. It's simple. Oh, cut. So in order to cut, first, we know where our mark is. It's right here. Your recessed lights will come with, you know, look in here. They come with these templates here. So you want, this is what you're going to want to cut out. You get up here. You put this bad boy up here, center it over where you want the center to be, and you're going to trace along the outside with a pencil. Okay, so we got the circle up here, got it traced. Fair warning, if you have a whole bunch of these to do, I only have 5 of them to do, so I'm going to wing it, but if you have a whole bunch of these to do, like, you know, 10, 20, whatever you're doing, you know, doing the whole house, I recommend getting a drill, a hole saw attachment to your drill and drilling. It's going to make it way easier on you. But for me, I got drywall saw, and I start out my cuts with this knife. So what I'm going to do is I jab this knife in here along the edge where I want to start and get all the way through. Sometimes I use a hammer to even help me get going. Then I take this and really put some torque on it, some tension, to get it to go in a circle. It will look like this here. There we go. Next, dry fit this in here. Make sure you're good. These recessed models have these clamps on them. Make sure the clamps aren't in the way. Tuck them up and shove it up there and make sure you're good. If not, then adjust and cut a little bit more out. One-handed here. Okay, there we go. And the other reason why I am doing this now before I put the other drywall up is because I want to make sure that I know where my cord is. And then I have enough. Ah, there you are. Found the cord. So there's my cord. That way I can pull it through, as I did over there as well. So now I'll knock boots on this one, and I'll do my pennant lights, which I'll have in a different video. Okay. So I have all my tracing done, cut my holes. I am going to put things up there before I put this whole new drywall up. But for now, I shut off the power again, and I'm going to show you. This should work just fine as long as you have a big enough wire nut to hold all these in, connector. So, main power here. This one is going through all these backlights. This one is going to there, which also connects to these. And this one is going for the center one and the one over there. So what you want to do is you want to tie all these together. Tie all these together and nut them up. Got them all in. It's not pretty, but they're in. Junction box cover. Throw that on. Screw it in there a little bit. And the area is secure. Now we're going to throw in these lights and hook them together. And all these pre-cut ones in. I'll throw the drywall on and finish the last two. Okay, so let's throw these lights up here. Come and you unpackage. So you take out this cardboard piece. You got your instructions if you want them. Alright. You're just going to leave that dangling. Now whenever you put this up, you want all these to be in. Like that. That way it goes up there. Now whenever you get up there, it holds it in place by this. This is a really easy thing to do. The biggest bitch is whenever you get up there, getting these all the way tight to where they snag. I have a couple tricks that might help with that. Comes with its own junction box. You pull back that tab and that top part falls right off. Instructions. Okay. So now you can snap these in with some of them. I'm old school and I don't do that. I just use my wire cutters and take that off. No way I'm doing wire to wire and connect them with the wire nuts. So to get those cords in, you have this little area you can knock out. Screwdriver and go in that slot right there, and then you just pull it back. And there you go. You don't have to hammer it or anything, pretty simple. Okay. So our wires, we're going to fish them in through here. So one set of these are going to the main power source, and this one's going to my pennant lights right here. Twist these through. And you can use the different connections or different knockouts if you want. And you can connect all of these together. So all three now, black on blacks, all three white on whites, all three grounds. And I use my needle nose and twist them together. Saves my fingers. I don't grip real tight. I just grip lightly and twist. And the same to your grounds here. There's no rhyme or reason with the order. Wire nut. Connect this big boy to these two blacks, wrap it around there. There we go, now we're nice and tight on there. Screw it on there nice and good. Give them a couple pulls. Every quarter pull, make sure that it's in there. That one's good. Okay, tuck them back in. So here's what you do with this. You slide this back on. These two little holes up here go into this little curved part. You put this end underneath to start out. Tuck it up back behind it. And slide those through the holes. Son of a bitch. And then we're in. These clips, make sure they're all up. Again, make sure they're all up so you can get it up there. Shimmy it in there. All right, for you to trim here. You gotta push these up. Now they only will go up so far. That one actually goes up nice. So if you read the dumb instructions, they tell you to push up on these. I found that you really want to push them more towards instead of up. You can also, I get a hammer and hit the end of it a couple times. And it really knocks them up there. Because they are pretty tough to get snug up there. Okay, so we're going to do that with all of those and we'll get the tray. So again, we got two of those locked in. It's a lot easier. You can see in this insulation you have this little ledge right here. So you put it perpendicular, hammer it to where it gets pretty much locked in, and then you take it at this angle and hammer up, and this whole these whole things will slide up. You can see this little space right here. This insulation was down at the bottom here. You hammer up to lock it in place, and it'll go all the way up. So you do that on all of those. That's how you get it nice and in there. And it's a lot easier than trying to push it with your finger, trust me. Got them in place. Last part is trim. So this is the kind I got. It's an open one. First thing, you're going to depress these, and those depress ends go in on those. So depressed. Don't be stupid, get it the right place. And I just put them on the first notch. There you go. Locked in. Second, you have these on each side. And what you do is I start off with one side, and I'm going to depress them up, and they lock into this. So you can follow me. You push each side of these up to where they're as far up as they can, and one string will lock in right here, and the other will lock in right here. They will be on the inside of this, and then you'll do it on this side as well, and whenever you push up, they'll stop in place. I know, Sam. That's pretty cool. So throw some muscle on it. I put one on the inside. I got it on the inside of that. I'm going to really torque that. That one's on the inside. Same thing over here. Inside. Torque this one up. Inside. Now you can just push it up here in place. Boom. Light bulb. So that's what it is. Throw your light bulb in here. Boom shot. Ah. There you go. We got a couple of them up here. So that's how you throw those in there. You do it all. Test out the lights. You know, it's pretty bright in here with just these and those. And I know I'm going to put one for sure. Going to put one up here, but I wasn't sure to begin with, and I'm not sure now that I see all the light if I want one coming right down the middle of the room. So what I did is I went ahead and put it in a junction box here, this little one, and I directed that right in line with where I'm going to put it if I do use it. So if I don't use it, it's secure, it's good, I don't need it. But if I do decide I want to use it, I got it right there, right in the line with where I am going to, where I would put it. So, lastly, if you're like me and you have drywall to throw back up or anything like that, I recommend testing them first. So, tested, they're up and going, looking good, and so yeah. So now I'm going to throw the drywall up. If you need to learn how to do that, then I have another video of that. So, good luck.